University of Idaho is transformational for a student because their education prepares them for their next step, but really their whole experience here prepares them for their next step.
Everybody comes here sort of with a blank slate. Then while you're here, it's the faculty you meet, the opportunities you have, the other students you meet that kind of gives you that inspiration of where do I want to go from here? And the cool thing about it is you can really go anywhere.
I have been able to get wherever I wanted to go from here with the foundation that I have.
The University of Idaho is value added. It's added value to them as an individual. It's added value to the community, to the state. So this is where you learn. This is where you develop the skills. This is where you develop the skills to be successful out in the workplace.
And when we talk about success at the university, we can talk about a lot of things, and people do, and they get sidetracked in some ways. We've got to talk about students. We're in the business of making students successful, and to do that, you got to inspire them to be great and to go on and try to be good citizens and make a difference in the world.
I really wanted a place that could raise the bar for me, could really challenge me and really help me develop into a thinker. And the University of Idaho definitely offered that to me.
The University of Idaho has changed my life as a student and now as a professor. And to be able to give even a small part of the education I received at the University of Idaho, I feel very honored to be a part of this community.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Welcome to the inauguration of the University of Idaho's 18th president, Dr. Chuck Staben. Today is a celebration of leadership and investiture, the keys to our future. When President Theodore Roosevelt visited the University of Idaho campus in 1911, he noted the critical importance of the university to our state's future. Indeed, generations of Vandal leaders, together with our statewide research impact, have developed the path to a bright future for us all. Today, outstanding student achievement, world-class research, and scholarship, along with alumni success, are building an even stronger legacy for the future. Signifying leadership, honor, and the ceremonial importance of today's event, please take notice of the symbols leading the processional, which represent the office of President. Presenting the presidential hood are Steve Johnson and Bob Weiss. Presenting the presidential medallion are Nate Fisher, Anthony St. Clair, and Niama Olenu. Presenting the University Mace are Marty Itcherberg and Allie Bretthauer. Participating in the investiture are Dr. Mary Beth Staben and Ray Staben. Please welcome our stage party members, Chuck Staben, C.L. Butch Otter, Bill Lambert, Emma Atchley, Bill Gosling, Don Soltman, Mike Rush, Catherine Aiken, and Lee Todd. Please welcome the administration of the University of Idaho. A list of our administrative leaders is located in your program on page 6. Now, please welcome our sister institutions and their delegates. Roy Atwood, New St. Andrews College. Celeste Brown, University of Georgia. Julie Davis, University of Pittsburgh. Blaine Eccles, Boise State University. Tony Fernandez, Lewis Clark State College. Ruth Funabiki, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Mickey Gunter, Virginia Tech. Marvin Henberg, College of Idaho. Michelle Henley, University of Louisville. Ralph Kern, Brigham Young University, Idaho. Casey Inge, Temple University. Sandra Reinecke, Indiana University. Sharon Stoll, Kent State University. Barry Willis, Utah State University. Guillermo Ordorica, Consulate of Mexico, Boise. And from President Staben's most recent university, we welcome James Moran and Kim Grieve. Now welcome the colleges of the University of Idaho. Library and Faculty at Large is led today by Associate Dean of Special Collections, Garth Reese. The University of Idaho Library is a federal regional depository library, a patent and trademark library, an Idaho State Documents Depository, and holds special collections and archives pertaining to Pacific Northwest history and the International Jazz Collections. It is the largest library in the state and has more than 2 million holdings. Faculty at large include a faculty from the libraries as well as from our faculty from ROTC units and psychological and counseling services. College of Graduate Studies is led by Dean G. Chen. Formalized in 1925, the College of Graduate Studies leads the university's research and creative activities at the graduate level, encompassing all graduate programs within the university. All of the faculty in this college have appointments in other colleges. College of Law, led by Dean Mark Adams. In 2009, the University of Idaho College of Law celebrated a century of excellence in legal education. Over the last 100 years, Idaho's College of Law has emerged as a top law school in the region with a strong legacy that includes state and national leaders in business, law, and public service. The college is consistently recognized among the best values in public legal education in the nation. College of Agricultural and Life Sciences is led by Dean John Foltz. Founded in 1901, the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences has 203 faculty located on campus and around the state of Idaho, serving more than 1,200 students. The College of Agricultural and Life Sciences leads research and extension efforts related to biodiesel as a renewable fuel, the potential impact of climate change on Pacific Northwest grain production, factors influencing the economic health of rural communities, and variety improvement for many of the crops grown in Idaho and the Pacific Northwest. College of Art and Architecture is led by Dean Mark Hoverston. Re-established in October 2005, Art and Architecture offers 6 programs: Architecture, art and design, bioregional planning and community design, landscape architecture, interior design, and virtual technology and design. It offers 10 degrees and has 45 faculty. College of Business and Economics is led by Dean Mario Reyes. Established in 1925, like the university, the College of Business and Economics has a rich history of producing thinkers and global citizens who are leading Idaho, the Northwest, the nation, and beyond. The College of Business and Economics attracts 1,300 students to their innovative team-based cross-functional programs in 7 disciplines, as well as Master of Accountancy. The college also offers an Executive Master of Business Administration degree in Northern Idaho. College of Education, led by Dean Corey Mantle Bromley. Established in 1920. College of Education is committed to serving the people of Idaho and the region by providing educational programs that emphasize leadership at all levels and are based on the latest research findings. The college offers 5 undergraduate, 8 master's, and 10 doctoral degrees. It has 48 faculty. College of Engineering is led by Dean Larry Stauffer. Established in 1907 with nearly 100 faculty, 50 staff, and 1,700 students, the College of Engineering is one of the premier engineering colleges in the Northwest. The college is known for its educational programs that provide hands-on design and research experience, as well as sound fundamentals. The College of Engineering offers 9 undergraduate degrees and graduate degrees in 13 areas. Leading our state and region, the college pursues research in a variety of fields such as transportation, cybersecurity, microelectronics, sustainable energy, and water management. College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences is led by Dean Andy Kirsten. The College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences is the oldest and newest college at the University of Idaho. It began as College of Letters and Science in 1900, and its current configuration dates to July 2006. The College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences has 116 faculty members and 3,263 students pursuing an undergraduate degree in one of the many disciplines. Students in the College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences can earn a bachelor's degree in 19 different subject areas. The college also has 237 students seeking a graduate degree in English, anthropology, history, music, political science, psychology, or theater arts. College of Natural Resources is led today by Dean Kurt Pregetzer, established in 1917. The College of Natural Resources has 8 undergraduate degree programs and 3 graduate degree programs. It collaborates with 3 additional university-wide graduate programs. The College of Natural Resources also offers certificate programs in restoration ecology, environmental education, and fire ecology and management, and has 48 faculty. College of Science, led by Dean Paul Joyce, established in 2002. The college offers bachelor's degrees in biology, microbiology, biochemistry, molecular biology and biotechnology, chemistry, geography, geology, mathematics, and physics. A master's degree is offered in 12 disciplines and doctoral degrees in 9 areas of study and has 120 faculty. please rise for the presentation of colors and international flags. With more than 500 international students and faculty from 85 nations around the world, the University of Idaho is proud of our diverse university community. The flag bearers of these nations represent this diversity and our continued effort to produce global citizens who are equipped to solve the world's greatest challenges. Please remain standing for our national anthem and posting of colors. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Interim Provost and Executive Vice President, Catherine G. Aiken.
Thank you and welcome. We are so pleased you are here this afternoon, and thank you for participating in this event, which is important to the University of Idaho, but also is important to the entire state of Idaho. Today, we welcome and inaugurate the 18th president of the University of Idaho, Chuck Staben. The University of Idaho is the flagship research, land-grant institution of the great state of Idaho. Please turn your attention to the drum stage as the Native American Student Association Vandal Drum will be offering an honor song. We have many distinguished visitors here with us today, representing important constituents of this great university. it is my pleasure to introduce these dignitaries, beginning with C.L. Butch Otter, who was elected governor of Idaho on November 7th, 2006. Today, he is here to represent the great state of Idaho and bringing greetings to President Staben. Please welcome the governor of Idaho, Governor Butch Otter.
Thank you, Kathleen, and welcome to all of you who have gathered to witness the installation and the inauguration of the 18th president of the University of Idaho. Before I begin, I want to offer a sincere and heartfelt thanks to Don Burnett, filling in during the interim. Don, we want you to know from all Idahoans how much we appreciate you staying the course and providing for the leadership during the time while the search was on for Dr. Staben. I also want to thank the group that put on the search, and especially the chairman, Emma Atchley. I feel gratified that they did such a wonderful job, and I knew they would because I have appointed every one of them. And they have done a tremendous job. So thank you, Emma, for a great job. Well done. I welcome the Staben family. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for sharing part of your life with us here in Idaho. I would tell you that, Dr. Staben, your mission begins, and the mission of the University of Idaho is one unlike any other in the nation. And the reason for that is because it was this institution that held the state of Idaho together during a very threatened time. You see, it was in 1888 when the University of Idaho bill was passed in the state, in the territorial legislature, and that it was to be built in Eagle Rock, Idaho. Anybody know where Eagle Rock, Idaho is? That's Idaho Falls. However, Idaho, after Colorado had been admitted in 1876, there hadn't been another state admitted to the Union for quite some time. Idaho wanted to be admitted to the Union, and so they needed solidarity. And so in 1889, during the territorial legislature, one gentleman from Genesee, Idaho, a fellow by the name of John Brigham. John Brigham wrote a bill establishing the University of Idaho at Moscow, Idaho, in Latah County. Having accomplished that, northern Idaho no longer sought secession from the territory of Idaho to be joined to Washington. So, Dr. Staben, yours is a rich history, and one that I know with your leadership, your talents, your abilities, and your vision will continue to hold this state together. God bless you, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Governor Otter. Mayor Bill Lambert was elected mayor in November of 2013 and took office in January of 2014. He cares deeply about the community of Moscow, where he has lived and served since 1977. Mayor Lambert has a strong personal interest and love for both the community and the University of Idaho. Please welcome Mayor Bill Lambert.
Greetings, Governor Otter, President Staben. Welcome to the flagship city of Idaho, Moscow. We just heard from our fine governor that this university was formed in 1889 prior to statehood, so that leaves us with only one alternative, and that we must be the flagship. So I'll leave that at that and carry on here. I just want to welcome everybody to our community and the students that are here on this wonderful occasion. The University of Idaho has a 125-year anniversary that we've surpassed, and I gotta share with you, even though Chuck Staben is our 18th president, we have got a new era here at Idaho. We are entering a very exciting time here. Technology continues to increase, and the world becomes smaller, and it seems like the challenges that we face become more complex as each year goes by. With President's statements and the help of this terrific, some say flagship, I'll say flagship city, university, our community as a whole is in great hands. I gotta share with you the first time I got a chance to meet Chuck was on a personal basis with Don Burnett in January. We had breakfast together. And the first time I met him, of course, I've got one of these personalities, I ask a lot of questions and put you right on the spot immediately. And Chuck handled all those questions that I had very, very well. And I gotta tell you, when I left that breakfast meeting, I felt very, very comfortable. You know how it is when you first meet somebody, you've either got a great feeling or a good feeling or an okay feeling or a feeling that you really don't know. And after I left that meeting, I had a terrific feeling about Chuck. Him and I have had a number of meetings, and I grow stronger and stronger with that feeling. So I think that we really share a lot of things together. The University of Idaho, and I talked when I became the mayor, I talked about collaboration, and collaboration for our city, with our city, our university, our Chamber of Commerce, our school district, so that we can all achieve the things that we want to achieve. Working together, folks, nobody can stop us. And that's how I see it, and with Chuck at the helm of this fine university, we're gonna get there. So I welcome you all here, and for those of you that are out of town, I got one small announcement. On September 26th, and this is Dad's Week, and we're gonna have a downtown block party where we're cutting off part of Main Street so that we can have a couple of bands. We wanna invite the students as well as their dads down to see our local downtown and have some fun down there. So folks, enjoy your stay here, and thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you, Mayor Lambert. Join me in welcoming our regent of the University of Idaho, Emma Ashley from Ashton, Idaho. She's a University of Idaho alumna, and she is currently serving as president of the State Board of Education.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. Governor Otter, soon to be officially President Staben, distinguished guests, members of the extended University of Idaho community, and friends. I am honored to bring the warmest congratulations from the Idaho State Board of Education to the University of Idaho for this history-laden traditional event. Humans rightly mark transitional and transformational moments in life, society, and in institutions. And we do it with ceremony, as we do today. The inauguration of a university president signals new leadership, new vision, dedication to the long-recognized, multifaceted benefits of higher education, not just to this state, but to our nation and world. The Idaho State Board of Education welcomes Dr. Staben to a unique position of leadership in the state. We look forward to a fruitful, effective, and long, emphasis on long, relationship with Dr. Staben as president of the University of Idaho. Congratulations to you, Dr. Staben, and to the university. Thank you.
Thank you, Regent Ashley. Born in Earlington, Kentucky, Lee J. Todd Jr. received a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering in 1968 from the University of Kentucky. He pursued graduate studies at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he had a Hertz Fellowship, which was arranged by Dr. Edward Teller, founder and developer of the hydrogen bomb. After earning his master's degree in 1970 and a doctoral degree in 1973 and receiving 6 patents, Dr. Todd returned to the University of Kentucky and joined the electrical engineering faculty. During the next 9 years, he published numerous research articles and at the same time was a perennial favorite of students. Dr. Todd served as president of the University of Kentucky, Lexington from July 1st, 2001 through June 2011. Please welcome our inauguration keynote speaker, Dr. Lee Todd.
Governor, President Staben, Mayor, Regent, faculty, staff, students, and honored guests. I want to first thank the Staben family, Mary Beth, Chuck, and Ray and her 2 brothers, and other family members for inviting me to be a part of this ceremony. It's very, very special to see one of your faculty members become president of an institution such as this. I want to bring you warm greetings from your friends and associates at UK and in Lexington and tell you that they're all extremely proud of your accomplishments since you left us some time ago and moved along. You know, I've known Chuck as a young, successful biology department head. He did something very innovative the first year that I was in office. We had received a major National Science Foundation grant to improve education in the Appalachian part of Kentucky. And he reached out and hired a tenured outreach professor to travel the state and to mentor the middle and high school teachers of Kentucky to try to ensure that those children got the best exposure to biology that they could. I appointed him as a member of our Top 20 committee, and I'll say more about that in a few moments. He then co-chaired our University Strategic Planning Committee that built upon our Top 20 initiative. And his final post at UK was the acting vice president of research. Based on my observations of Chuck in those various capacities, I know that your search committee made an excellent choice, and the future of this institution is going to be very bright, and I think very long. I'm going to talk now about my belief in the land-grant institution. When I was preparing these remarks, I recalled a conversation I had with a fellow president a few years ago who had been president of 2 public universities and then had just been appointed to a large, I'd say he'd been president of 2 private universities and then appointed to be president of a large public university. I asked him how he felt about that transition. And he said, well, you know, Lee, the presidency of a private university is a great professional appointment, but the presidency of a public university is a calling. And I would add that the president of a public land-grant university is even a greater calling. These are precious jobs and ones that I know Chuck and Mary Beth are very, very happy to have. I will warn you, Chuck, though, that having prestigious jobs does have its humbling moments. Right before I became president of UK, and my wife and I grew up in a town of 2,000, coal mining town in western Kentucky, a relative of mine wanted to give us a reception. And we drove down the night before and we went to the Holiday Inn Express, which is the largest hotel in the region. And I went to check in and said, my name is Lee Todd, and she looked, didn't have anything. I said, well, try Todd Lee. That happens to me a lot, you know, and looked, nothing. I said, well, Dr. Trover made the reservations. Maybe it's under his name. Nothing. So finally I said, well, you know, I am the incoming president of the University of Kentucky. Maybe it's under UK. And she looked at me and she said, does that mean you're the coach? My wife just did a pirouette, and when I finally caught up with her, she said, well, Mr. President, how important do you feel? You know, so I told her I knew Tubby, so I got a room anyway. But the Morrill Land Grant Act of 1862 was primarily focused in providing education in agricultural and mechanical arts, or mechanical engineering. The primary benefactors of that act were the citizens of those states where those institutions were located. I believe if he were alive today, Mr. Morrill would accept the definition that could be expanded to say that these institutions need to provide a globally competitive education, and using your research capabilities that have been developed well over the time when he was on this earth, solve the problems of your state and develop new opportunities for its citizens. I do have a concern that there are too many land-grant universities in the country that have drifted from the original intent of that act of focusing on the well-being of their states. One way, by attempting to move up the U.S. News and World Report rankings, which are really a poor indicator of the impact you have on your state. Another is by encouraging their faculty to focus only on research publications that touch things in the far reaches of the world and not necessarily in their home basin. Many of them still are outstanding institutions, but I think that their focus on their home states is a secondary accomplishment. Speaking about the University of Kentucky, we are also the state's flagship land-grant institution, similar to University of Idaho. We were handed a unique situation in 1997 when Governor Paul Patton reorganized higher education in Kentucky. Two of the major factors were that he took away the community college system from the university, which was a great political basin to have, and challenged the university to now go forward and become a top 20 public research institution. That occurred 3 years before I became the president. When I took office, I realized two things. First, they never defined what they meant by top 20. Generally, however, I think most people felt that it was really a measure of extramural funding levels. And secondly, they didn't fund it. So there are two issues we had to deal with. I was concerned that if we focused on just writing proposals and seeking grants and going after funding dollars so that we can move up the ladder and knock out number 20, that we'd fail the state of Kentucky. I stated that we really needed to have our best minds working on Kentucky's toughest problems, that we needed to do research that hit the ground in Kentucky, and that we could still bring in research dollars by doing those things. I knew that most Kentuckians, including many of our legislators, did not really know why we needed a top 20 research university. Education had not always been the high point in our state. I went around the state speaking about the need to be a research institution. I would tell our inhabitants that I know you have a basketball IQ. You know who missed some shot back in 1946 and cost us a championship and you're still mad about it. But you don't have a research IQ. You don't know that before there was Route 128 Beltway around Boston for high tech, there was an MIT and a Harvard. Before there was a Silicon Valley, there was a Stanford and a Berkeley. Before there was a Research Triangle Park in North Carolina, there were 3 outstanding universities. Research universities impact economies more so now than ever before, and we have to have one in our state. I admitted that it was our responsibility to teach the citizens what a research university could do for them. And we were going to do it by making research real to the citizens. We were going to solve some of the problems using our research skills, married with their own personal passion for helping their communities get better. And we were going to create jobs for the citizens and for their children. I began talking about what I call the Kentucky Uglies. It's probably the only thing I'm really known for back there now. If you Google that, you'll see a lot of coverage. My PR people didn't like it. In my inaugural speech, I referred to it as the perennial problems of Kentucky. But the Kentucky Uglies stuck a lot tighter. But we're the leaders in lung cancer. We're the leaders in diabetes, leaders in poor oral health, spina bifida. We even have a county which has the lowest life expectancy in the United States. And we're not yet even mad about that. We would do the work we had to do with our citizens in their home communities to solve some of these problems. After all, we were the University of Kentucky, not the University of Lexington, which we had been accused of being in the past. One example took place in Hopkins County, Kentucky, where they had a preterm birth rate of 16.6%. In less than 2 years, our dental faculty got that down to 6%. When I was introduced by the president of Trover Clinic, they said that we had saved 38 preterm births in the past 12 months, which would have cost Medicaid $2 million, and it changed those children's lives forever. Also, the people of the area just didn't have the understanding when you have your economy based on primarily extraction of why scientific ideas, entrepreneurship, economic development, and those things should play a role. And so we tried to demonstrate that as well. The second thing I realized was that we couldn't pursue that top 20 dream without having additional funding. I had started, when I left, taught at the university for 9 years, and I left and started 2 high-tech companies in Lexington, mainly because 80% of our electrical engineering students were leaving the state to find jobs, and they were very bright. They were going to Hewlett-Packard and IBM and AT&T, and I thought they could compete. So I dusted off my patents and started raising money. I wasn't involved in whiskey, bourbon, horses, tobacco. It took me 7 years to find the funding to start my company. But I quickly learned one thing. If you don't have a business plan when you talk to your investors, you might as well not make the appointment. They're not going to invest. So at UK, I decided that we need to write a top 20 business plan. My provost told me the faculty wouldn't like that title. Many of them didn't like the fact that I'd been in business before I came back, and furthermore, that I was an engineer. But we did that because I said it's not really for the faculty, it's for the legislators and the citizens to understand how we're going to measure this top 20, why we need to do it, and what it's going to cost. We developed a plan with 4 domains and 9 measures that we would chart to show what progress we made. One of the vital things we said we would measure were improvements to the health and educational, social, economic, and cultural well-being of the citizens of Kentucky. We did a 22-city tour of Kentucky and a lot of work going to individual legislators' home areas to talk about what we needed. The legislature approved a $27 million base increase in our recurring budget. The Oversight Board had only recommended $8 million for that year. And I firmly believe that the connection that we made to write a compact for the citizens of Kentucky, and by positioning our plan in that way, we were able to get that funding. President Staben was involved in 2 of the most important committee efforts that took place in that effort. The Top 20 Committee, where we decided what we thought we could achieve in those areas and which ones we could invest in most. And then the responsibility of leading the faculty through the Strategic Planning Committee to decide how we were going to invest those funds. I firmly believe that we received those because of the positioning that we had, and I'm very proud of what happened. So while the original Top 20 challenge wasn't funded, when we tied it to the state, they fully awarded. As a matter of fact, the President of the Senate called me in his office when they were going to vote on the budget. He said, if we give you $29 million, can we say that we fully funded the UK Top 20 plan? I said, yes, sir, I'm asking for 27, but I'll take 29. And so I probably shouldn't have said that, but I want to say that while they didn't fund that initially, they did something that was very unique in the nation, and they've gotten a lot of credit for it. They founded a program called Bucks for Brains, endowment match program, to put money up for matching dollar for dollar for money that UK and University of Louisville would raise to endow professorships. If a donor said, we'll give you $1 million over 5 years, the state would put their $1 million up first. 3 times since 1997, the legislature has provided matching funds from cash, and 1 time they even bonded $100 million for Bucks for Brains. We called it Bonds for Brains that year, and we're very pleased that they would step forward and bond something that didn't have bricks and mortar associated with it. The total state investment has been $410 million, which has been matched by $410 million from the private sector. Matching is a great way to move a donor off the fence, as your development people will tell you. The impact of that was phenomenal. Since 1997, the number of endowed chairs in the state increased from 56, a fairly paltry number, to 252. The number of endowed professorships increased from 53 to 354. We were not only able to attract outstanding faculty to our institution, but we were able to retain our stars who were being picked off by other institutions. The intent was to allow the research university to be nationally competitive for research funding, and it worked. Extramural R&D expenditures increased from $105 million to $365 million, a 250% increase. We were able to not only do that, but build our endowment. The endowment in '87 was under $200 million. And UK's endowment is 958 as of yesterday, and it should hit $1 billion if the market keeps going. So these are some things that we were able to do by taking the passion that I think Morrill meant with the Land Grant Act. Not that we're not doing research that impacts the rest of the world. We're also doing research that's very basic, that's not understood by many people except for the other investigators around the world that do that. You've got to do that to establish your reputation, but you can also spend time improving your state. So I want to close with a mission statement that 22 of our bright young medical faculty developed when I took them to an off-site meeting my first year and said, tell me what will keep you here your whole career, because we had been losing good medical professionals. They appointed Tim Mullen. He came to my office and he said, here's a mission statement we want to put forward. We want to solve the healthcare needs of Kentuckians in creative and inventive ways such that we gain a national and international reputation. 80% of them were not native Kentuckians, but they got it. So I love land-grant universities. I love them even more when they follow the mission that I think that Mr. Morrill had in mind when he passed the bill and Abraham Lincoln signed it. Chuck Staben has accepted your calling, and along with you, I can see this institution enhancing the lives of Idaho citizens and enhancing your national and your international reputation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Todd. We have a small memento of this occasion. We're going down the stairs now. Yes.
The presidential symbols of office include the University Hood, President's Medallion, and University Mace. Presidential Hood. The removal of Dr. Staben's doctoral hood from University of California, Berkeley in biochemistry represents putting aside his teaching and research role and taking on the administrative office as president. Receiving the hood are Dr. Mary Beth Staben and Ray Staben. The presidential hood and gown are influenced by the 1989 doctoral gown that was designed by Emeritus Professor Edmund Chavez that are still worn by stage party members today. Presenting the presidential hood are Steve Johnson and Bob Weiss. The President's Medallion. The first medallion was created by Idaho artists George and Mackie Roberts. The President's Medallion was first used in 1965 at the inauguration of Ernest Hartug, the University of Idaho's 12th president. The medallion today was commissioned in 2004. This medallion's base is a gold-leafed university seal and is worn suspended by a chain with gold-leaf charms, each representing the presidents who have served the university. Presenting the medallion are Nate Fisher, Anthony St. Clair, and Niama Alanu. The University Mace. The University Mace represents a mace or a club that was originally used in combat during the Middle Ages. Over the years, the mace has become associated with a symbol of authority, borne as an ornamental staff. During the university's centennial year, the mace was commissioned and designed by Professor Emeritus Edmund Chavez and crafted by Roy Goodner of Kingston, Idaho. It is a walnut scepter adorned with opals, garnets, agate, silver, and gold, all from Idaho. This is the symbol of the university's power and prestige.
Dr. Chuck Staben, it is with great pride that we bestow upon you the symbols of the office of President of the University of Idaho. By virtue of the authority granted to me as President of the Board of Regents of the University of Idaho, I declare Chuck Staben the 18th President of the University of Idaho with all its rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Emma. Thanks, everyone, for participating in this ceremony. It's extremely moving to me. And thank you, Lee, for your vision of a public university, for the work that you have done in Kentucky and nationally. And thanks very personally for helping me to achieve my goal, my dream of leading a public university, of having the opportunity to help change lives and to improve society. And also, Lee, thanks for a lot of good ideas that I'll probably steal. Some of you may have heard some of these already, but at any rate. Thank you also to the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of the university who are joining us today in person and from many locations throughout the great state of Idaho. Thanks to those on the stage for their support and for the key leadership roles that they play. Governor Otter, Regent Gosling and Atchley, and Executive Director of our State Board, Mike Rush, and Mayor Lambert. Thanks very much for your support. Special thanks to Interim Provost and Executive Vice President Catherine Aiken and the rest of the university leadership team out there for their service to the university and their generosity in helping me transition into the presidency. And once again, Don, thanks very much for your help during my transition into this presidency. I'm also honored by the attendance of many delegates representing other educational institutions and entities who join the University of Idaho in the important work of educating, learning from, and informing our citizenry. And of course, I want to thank my family, especially Mary Beth and our children, Mac, Cal, and Ray. Without their support, occasionally their criticism, I wouldn't be here. Thanks especially, Ray, for representing your two brothers, Mac and Cal, who could not be with us today. They had anatomy tests today. If I could communicate just one message today, it would be that we here today hold the keys to our future. My talk is titled The Keys to Our Future, and you're probably looking for some magical statement as to what the key to our future is. I don't have magic. I know that I have lots of people to help me in constructing the future of Idaho and constructing especially the future of the University of Idaho. We here today have the ability to construct our university, a university that can best serve our students, our state, and ourselves. I've spent the last 6 months on campus, and I've traveled throughout Idaho. This is a great university, and it is a beautiful state. This is a university that is loved by its alumni and valued by the people of the state. I learned a great deal about our state and about our university, but the most important thing that I have learned is that it's time to move forward together and to move forward boldly. It's not that hard to define what we as citizens want our future to look like. We want tolerance and prosperity in our communities. We want to be good stewards of our resources, of our land and our water, which is so beautiful here in Idaho. We want a rich cultural life, and we want to leave an even better life for our children. It's also really not hard to define what we want the university to look like. We want students from all of Idaho to have ready access to the superb education and the superb experience that we offer here. We want a faculty and staff that is intellectually strong and one that find their careers rewarding. We want to live in a vibrant community. We want to help build our wonderful state, and we want our peers to recognize the excellence of our university. Even though we share these visions, sometimes it's difficult to discern exactly how one builds that future. Sometimes we get discouraged. We are a state with a small population, limited financial resources, and a public that has not traditionally attended college in large numbers. Sometimes we lose our way as we contemplate the choices we face. Should we educate students, or should we conduct research? Should we focus on the Moscow campus or on our statewide mission? And though we cannot do everything, I ask that we together embrace our broad mission and think about how large a difference we can all make. It's my job, I know, to help us find our way. So please don't be unrealistic about that expectation. We will not develop, much less complete, the 10-year plan for our success in one day or even in 7 months. Today is also not the day to detail those plans. Today is really a pep rally for the university, and thank you all for being here and participating in that pep rally. It's a beautiful fall day, and we can celebrate at 1:25 p.m. in our 125th anniversary. That was very clever, wasn't it? Where we've been and what we want the next 125. Emma, I will be here a long time, but not quite that long, but at least maybe the next 10 years to be. It's a good day to reflect and identify our next steps. I want to emphasize that we are a public university and a land-grant university. We do serve several publics, but primarily we will serve the people of Idaho. It turns out we are the University of Idaho, exactly. We can serve Idaho by also serving the United States and the world, bringing the world to us as you see these flags around us, and helping Idaho to find its place in the world. We construct ourselves, and in that sense, we serve our faculty, staff, and students. We honor our past. We are the pride of our alumni. We will achieve our goals, I think, by understanding and fulfilling the ideal of the National Public Land-Grant Research University as it has evolved over the last 200 years. Although Lee introduced this history, I'd like to review the mission and vision for public universities and for land-grant universities, which has changed a great deal over the last roughly 200 years. Public universities started with the United States founders, who realized that a participatory democracy needed an educated governing elite and maybe just a few school teachers. But our current vision extends to an educated populace inclusive of all the people of Idaho and all the people of our nation. The next big step was development of the land-grant university in 1862. Via a grant of land, a state could support a university for its people that would educate students in the practical and liberal arts, uniting and healing a country torn apart by the Civil War. Remember, the Morrill Act was passed in 1862. I am astounded by this vision, created at a time when few citizens, even those national legislators, had a high school education, and the country was in a crisis. To think that our leaders would believe that the best thing we could have would be a system of public university education. The Smith-Lever Act, passed 100 years ago, provided the means, extension funding, to bring the university to all the communities of the state. Though initially focused on agriculture, today's university engages not just in agriculture, but on a broad front. In agriculture, in engineering, in natural resource management, in the arts, in health, and in many other spheres. I expect us at the University of Idaho to share this broad vision of engagement. We must listen to our communities, work with them on solutions, and help them confront their challenges. In the 1870s, American universities recognized the need to discover new knowledge and to provide advanced degrees so that discovery could continue. During World War II and the Cold War, the nation enhanced that role by providing grants to universities so that they could conduct research of specific value to the nation, which continues today. Today, public universities are seen as economic drivers, keys to the United States' continued prosperity and to enhancing social mobility. Public universities improve not just an individual's life, but they also improve our society. One can find inspiration each day when one works at a public university because you know that you are part of building a stronger democracy. So you probably did not come here today simply to review the history and role of American universities. You want to see who this new president is, and you want to hear what the University of Idaho will do next. So I'll give you a few specifics and then close with some personal perspectives. The university has done a great job for 125 years, but we can be better. We can serve more students more effectively. The state of Idaho has a clear goal of increasing post-secondary degrees from 40% of our population to 60%. This is consistent with education rates in economically advanced countries and in our most advanced states. It is consistent with our national goals. It is consistent with the needs expressed by Idaho business leaders. The University of Idaho should take a leadership position embracing this goal and therefore grow enrollments. We must communicate the value of higher education to families, many of whom will send the first member of their family to college. We must assist those families financially, and we must be as efficient and effective as possible with the resources that those families provide and that our state provides to help us do this job, to keep education accessible. Within 10 years, and by the way, I am not known for my patience, I anticipate a student body that is 50% larger than our current student body, and one that represents all of the people of Idaho and a sample of others from across the United States and the world. We will expect each student to be a partner in his or her own success, but we will celebrate each student who graduates, and we will see each one who leaves before graduation as a lost opportunity. The University of Idaho currently does a good job, graduating 56% of our students in 6 years. This is about what we would expect from the academic profile of our incoming students. But I want to work at a university, and I think that you want to work at a university that does a great job and outperforms our expectations that our students may have even of themselves. I ask each of you to consider how you can make the student experience better. Being the key to a student's future is extraordinarily rewarding. I hear this all the time as I travel the state, that the University of Idaho was the key to a student's future, and I want to hear that over and over again. It's a message of which we should never tire. We have a mission broader than education, of course. We generate knowledge and we disseminate that knowledge. The standard we should use in evaluating this mission is the impact that we have on our world and specifically in Idaho. We, especially our faculty and our graduate students, identify and complete projects of critical importance to the state and to the nation. In fact, my first knowledge of the University of Idaho was the excellence of its research in bioinformatics, basic research of high impact. So we will do high impact basic research, but we will also do research that directly impacts the people of Idaho. We must address these issues of direct impact in Idaho, and you know what some of these are. The origination that we've already done, the origination of important plant varieties, the development of environmentally responsible forestry practices, understanding the history and culture of an internment camp within our state, or one of the projects that perhaps we have under development now, a research facility to support our burgeoning dairy industry. I want to remind our faculty, we don't conduct research only because it is an expectation. It is because our research has impact on our students and on our world. And of course, as a land-grant Smith-Lever institution, we will use our extraordinary extension network to listen to our communities and to work with them to bring the benefit of our knowledge to the people of Idaho. These are tall orders, and I cannot tell you all the ways in which we together will accomplish this. In fact, I believe we will only accomplish what I have described, and which I believe are completely reasonable and important goals for us by working together. When I think about the work ahead, I think of a very personal experience with which I would like to close. My friends and family know that I spent more than 15 years watching youth swimming because our kids were involved in that. 6-year-olds look like little tadpoles, and they can't swim even 25 yards of butterfly. It's a very difficult stroke. 10 years later, after a lot of practice and growth, every swimmer who sticks with it literally thunders across the pool and can swim 200 yards of butterfly. Admittedly, none are as fast as Michael Phelps. But what I find amazing and inspiring is that each swimmer is better than he or she or anyone observing a 6-year-old could ever have imagined that he or she could be. If we strive for excellence, if each day we simply try to be better, 10 years from today, we will be better than we could ever have imagined. Thank you for the privilege to serve as your president. And as always, go Vandals.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Yeah, and times are changing everywhere. Do we dream and do we dare? It's up to you, the door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today, learn a part and join the play. The world is here, let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Larger, larger than, bigger, bigger than, living hopes and dreams. Every boy and girl, higher, higher than, brighter, brighter than, all you wanted. You know, you could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You can have all you ever wanted. You know you could.
At the conclusion of the ceremony, please remain in your seats until the platform party has recessed. We invite you to join the University of Idaho community in a reception in honor of President Staben and Dr. Mary Beth Staben. It starts at 3 o'clock in the Student Union Building International Ballroom. You will find the words to the University of Idaho alma mater, Here We Have Idaho, on page 12 of your program.
Silver and gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the inauguration of President Chuck Staben. We hope you will attend the university reception in the Sub International Ballroom.